Hey, I'm Dr. K. Welcome to Abnormal Psychology, Psych 220, summer quarter. Exciting. I think we're going to have a great quarter ahead of us. It's going to be a fast one. This quarter goes in particularly pretty quickly. I think it's only about an 8-week quarter. So it's going to get started really fast and you're going to just jump right into all the material. And so I would recommend that you start by familiarizing yourself with the syllabus. I'm sure you've heard this before, but really that's your key to doing well in this class and really any of your classes. So definitely check out the syllabus. It's got all the assignments in there. So if you have any questions, you can put that out there in the discussion board. Um, my name is Dr. K. Dr. Kawada, most people call me Dr. K. I think it's a little bit easier for folks to remember. Drop me an email in Canvas if you need to get in touch with me. That's the easiest way. You'll see my out of office responses on if you just send me a email regularly. But I'll get back to you. I have been teaching at Everett and I also teach at Western. I've done that for, oh boy, about 15 plus years now. Um, I teach counseling at Western Washington University in a master's program there, and teach a lot of the psychology courses like general psych. Maybe I think a couple of you might have had my general psych class as well as abnormal psych, which is this class, lifespan, and personality, which I usually teach in the winter quarter. Um, so let's see here. Canvas is the next thing that I would familiarize yourself with. It's pretty self-explanatory. I use modules, and so everything that you need for each week is in the modules. And so I would recommend at the beginning of the week just checking out the module that opens up Monday. So it'll open up on Monday, and then all the assignments are due Sunday, and the assignments lock at midnight on Sunday, and then the new module opens up and you've got another week ahead of you. And so stay on top of that, especially this quarter's. Like I said, it goes really fast. And so you definitely want to stay on top of your assignments. Don't get behind too far. Um, let's see here. In general, abnormal psychology, very interesting. It's about, we focus, of course, on mental health related disorders as kind of like the main function of this course. We use the DSM-5. Let me see if I have my DSM-5 right here. I have my old version of it, but there's a new text revision of the DSM-5 that I don't know where I put mine right now. But anyway, um, so the DSM-5 is what we use in the field of psychology and psychiatry to treat and diagnose mental health conditions. And so the book, Abnormal Psychology book, talks about most of the main categories that you could find in the DSM-5 and then goes into some of the detail. Now, there's quite a few disorders in the DSM that we will not cover in this class. However, if you decide to go on in psychology, decide to maybe go and get your graduate degree, then you will definitely cover all the details in the DSM. Um, abnormal psychology is also kind of an interesting thing because abnormal, really what is abnormal? I think that that's an ongoing question. You'll start to see in the future of abnormal psychology that there's going to be shifts in the language around, what is normal and abnormal. Currently, there's a lot of movement towards changing the title of abnormal psychology classes, which should probably happen in the next 5 years or so in general. But take a look at the work this quarter around abnormal. I think one of the things that we find is that there's a lot of contexts behind what's normal and what's abnormal, and a lot of it is based upon kind of what we would expect normal behavior to look like. However, there's still exceptions to the rule, like I think there's an image of like Lady Gaga, in some wild football pad shouldered like outfit or something like that. And if many of us were to show up in our workspaces wearing an outfit like that, people would probably think that we were in the abnormal range. However, Lady Gaga shows up in her workspace and it's considered to be absolutely fine. So the context is important. The book talks about the 4 Ds: deviance, distress, dysfunction, and danger. And each one of those even functions in its own context. And so my hope for this quarter is that you grapple with some of the questions around psychology in general, specifically towards kind of mental health conditions. Hopefully, you'll be able to understand these conditions as well as have an opportunity to really think about them, how they impact your life or the people in your life, the people around. My hope is also that you really have an opportunity to critically think about the field of psychology and abnormal psychology, um, and ask good, deep questions about it. Really think through this. And, I think a lot of times we feel like psychology, or really many other fields are kind of, I guess you would say, like anchored in where they are as far as like history and what we know about them. And really, we're constantly doing more research. We're finding new things out about the field of psychology, and it continues to grow and change. Our treatment modalities continuously change. Different therapies and treatments start popping up all the time. And so we're constantly evolving in this field. And so it really requires, as students, you to ask some really deep questions, and ask those why questions, those how questions. Why is this way? How did it become this way? How does it impact me? All of those things are important. And so I hope that you really grapple from that perspective. My hope is that at the end of this quarter, that you have a lot of information that now makes much more sense, and that you can understand it in your own world as well as see it in your own world, and then be able to really use that information to make your experience better, the people around you better, and hopefully it contributes, to you continuously moving forward and learning more in your own world as well. So that's kind of the main thing that I'm hoping for everybody to go over this. To specifically, this week, check out abnormal psychology, kind of models of abnormality. Start to really understand, what does this look like. Think about this in terms of not a hard and fast rule, right? That there's still a lot of context. Different cultural perspectives can change what abnormal looks like and how abnormal is experienced. Also check out the treatment modalities. There's different treatments that we are kind of currently acceptable in the field of psychology, and there's other ones that are kind of on the horizon that I'll talk about later this quarter that will be probably part of the new future of treatment in psychology. And so stay in tune for that. And then also make sure that you go into the research side and really understand how the science of psychology really works, and how all of the field, in particular, like our mental health conditions, have empirical support behind them. Treatment protocols have also empirical support as to why. So there's a lot of research in all of the interventions that we use in the field of psychology to help people who might be suffering from some of these mental health conditions. And so think about the research behind it and really try to understand, well, what makes good research? How can I trust the results that I'm reading? And how do I know that this is the best tool, for this situation? And I think the other big thing is that the DSM and the diagnoses are generalizations, and they give us a good amount of evidence and clues to start our understanding of the person that's sitting in front of us if we're in a clinical role. But that person in front of us was not what those generalizations were modeled after. And so it gives us a sense of what might be happening with this person, how we might treat them in a clinical sense, but at the same time, really getting in our minds that there's no general about any one of us, that every single one of us is an individual and we have different intersectional identities that create who we are. And so to think that somebody has major depressive disorder and we're going to treat that exactly the same for every single person, we're probably going to end up harming somebody by doing that. And so, really understanding that this gives us some information about where to start, but really we need to get more information throughout our work with the people that we're supporting. So anyway, I hope that we have an amazing quarter together. I think you'll find that the structure is pretty straightforward of this class, that you've got the same 3 assignments every single week. There's not, I took the papers out this quarter, and there's not a midterm or a final. So it's all your quizzes, your mental health activities, and then your discussions. So make sure that when you're doing that work, that you're giving it your best effort. That's how I will be grading. A lot of the questions that I ask are for your experience and your opinions. And so there's not a right or wrong necessarily about that, because it's coming from your own experience. However, want to make sure that you put in the effort to really think about what it is that you're reading, how it connects to your life, and then be able to talk from those perspectives. Um, so definitely give it a good effort there, and you'll do well in the class. Now, if you have any issues, definitely drop me an email. If we need to, we can find some time to meet as well outside of whenever we can try to figure out some time to meet. But yeah, as questions come up, please drop me an email. Look forward to this quarter. I think it's going to be fun, and hope you have a great week ahead. Thanks.